Hey, I'm here at the clubhouse and I just wanted to do a quick video on how to set a rock in a saw, a big vise like this, when you're looking to cut, and some of the things you want to look out for. So there's three main rules that you want to do when setting up a rock in a saw like this. And the first one is when you go and set the vise. So this back plate needs to be firmly up against the rock before you start. But then the most important thing that you want to do is this bolt that you turn to apply pressure to the plate. You want that backed off as far as possible, backed out before you set this plate against the rock. And the reason is because this this part of the vise that latches onto the bolt that is applying force to the plate, it's digging into these grooves right here, and that's what it's holding against to force it back there. And so by moving the bolt as far back as possible, you get a lot of space between this part and the back of the carriage there, the back of the plate. And this is made out of cast iron. It's really fragile as far as iron goes. So if you start applying force against this plate and this is touching, you're not going to be pushing the plate against the rock. You're going to be busting this this bolt right back through this piece here, and that can break. So you don't want to do that. Then this whole plate needs to be replaced, and that's kind of expensive. So we don't want to do that. So that's the first thing. The next thing, after you get it set and you start applying a little bit of pressure, what you want to do is make sure you block it up, block the opened end of the vise up. So when you start applying pressure on the vise, it's applying pressure on the single pivot point. And if there's nothing back here, what happens is that plate's going to move like this, and you're not going to get a lot of force on your rock. So you really want to make sure this rock is in there, that it doesn't move at all. So by putting some blocks in here, forcing this plate not to be able to move this way, now it's going to push the force in onto the rock, and that's what we want. We want the most force possible on the rock. And then the third most important thing is to brace the rock so it doesn't move. And I have shims here on the sides, and most importantly with this rock, I have 3 shims on the bottom to make sure this thing can't rock. Now when we move this thing, it's in there nice and solid. So when you test the rock, you want to be able to grab it with both hands, especially when this size, and shake it, and it should not move in the vise at all, not even a little bit. If it does, then you got to redo it. And with this example, first time I tried to do this, it moved. I had to reset it, reblock it, put the shims in, and do it all over again. So second try, I got it nice and solid this time, and it should be good to go. Now, one thing you want to remember too is you should watch your saw at least for a little bit when it starts cutting, just to make sure everything goes smoothly. You want to advance the carriage up to the blade, but not actually touching the blade. So you don't want the blade touching the rock when you start it. But other than that, I think you should be good to go with cutting your rock. Now, if you've never done this before, please don't do this without talking to one of the clubhouse instructors or attendants. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask anyone working at the clubhouse. They'd be happy to help you out. So good luck. Thanks. Bye.